I'll be talking about how you can build an embedded workflow builder inside your application using ActionKit actions to perform API calls in third-party integrations that your users use. So that was a mouthful, but basically how it works is imagine this app is your app and you want to build a workflow builder in there and you want certain nodes to perform actions in third-party APIs. So your users might see a whole bunch of third parties that they want to integrate with. And how they would get started is for any integration they don't currently have, like Jira, that is grayed out currently, they can click it, and this brings up Paragon's Connect portal. Through this, you can trigger the OAuth and log in. I'm not going to do it for Jira, but I've logged into a bunch of other integrations that I can demonstrate. So first, I'll show you after you open up an integration, we have a whole bunch of nodes or actions, and these are all ActionKit actions in the background. So I'll do the first one, get users by email. I'll put in a parameter and I'll just put in my own email. And we can see we get a JSON output back. I'll do a couple more actions just to show what a workflow might look like. So let's say I got a Slack user. I want to now create a contact. Connect these guys. Last name, I can use the outputs from the previous step. So profile last name. And I'm just getting these from the JSON. I believe it is. Yeah, we have name right here. We have like real name and first name, last name as well. So profile.first name. Cool. For this simple demo, I'm just going to leave that contact info as that. Lastly, just for fun, I will also do a Gmail action. Let's say after we create the Salesforce contact, we would also like to send an email. So I'll just send it to my own email. We'll do new Salesforce contact. And then again, I'm just going to use the outputs from the first step to say, get the real name. So this should say contact created for Jack. All right, looks like everything is set up. Let's run workflow. And now let's go into our Salesforce, give it a refresh. And yep, we have a new contact created. Nice. For my name. And then I'll go to my email, give it a refresh. And yep, we got a new email here. New contact created for Jack Moo. So that's the workflow demonstration. Let's jump into the code and I'll just talk about the ActionKit steps to see how these ActionKit APIs power the workflow builder behind the scenes. So first, how do we get these actions, right? How do we get these nodes? And going into the code, it's using our ActionKit API. So it's this line right here. We have to put in our Paragon project ID. And then for authorization, we also pass in a JSON web token that's signed with the Paragon signing key that can be found in your Paragon dashboard. From there, you just call a GET request. And what it ends up looking like in the JSON prettier is it returns a bunch of integrations. So this one's for Google Calendar. And you get a bunch of actions that you can use for your workflow builder or an AI agent or any use case that you can think of that uses these third-party APIs. So for this action, it could be Google Calendar create event. And we can see some parameters, event name, start time, end time, calendar. But for Slack, you can see get user by email, right? That's an action I had. And it takes a property email. And that's exactly the step that I have here, get user by email with the parameter email. So I'm using the ActionKit API to surface actions for each integration, and then surfacing the parameters in the workflow builder sidebar as well. So now we know how to get the actions. How do we actually call the action, like getting the user by email or sending an email for the Gmail action? That's done in the backend. And for me, I just used the ActionKit endpoint, again, with Paragon project ID. And again, we can use that same JSON web token for authentication. This one's a post request, and the only difference is in the payload, we have to specify the action as well as all the parameters. So we know we can use those parameters in our third-party API call. And that's basically all there is to it. With ActionKit, it's pretty simple to implement third-party API calls into your workflow builder. It's easy to scale the number, right? I used just that one API to surface all these different actions in all of these different integrations that I have. And then you can even do more on your Paragon dashboard if you'd like to support more integrations. And then it's pretty easy to call, right? It's just a simple post request with the payload of the action name and the parameters that you want to pass in. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our team, and thanks for listening.